Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital of Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem
Rob,
and today we're going to break down and preview this Saturday's fight for pound supremacy, where we have two-time gold medalists facing off in the 130-pound division. We have Guillermo Rigondeaux coming up 2 divisions to face Vasyl Lomachenko. And this is probably the most skill that you will see in a ring, probably ever.
And this pretty much continued 2017's track record of we're going to put on the best fights we can versus the best pound-for-pound fighters. I mean, we've seen Kovalev versus Ward 2. We've seen Joshua versus Klitschko. We've seen Golovkin versus Canelo. What else have we seen? We've seen
Golovkin and Jacobs.
That
was good. We had a lot of good matches this year, and then a lot of sneaky ones that were pretty good too, like Sorungasai and Gonzalez. That was a very good fight for as long as it lasted. And then we had also they fought on the undercard of that one.
What are you talking about?
Estrada.
Yeah.
Estrada and Quadras. Damn good fight. Anyway, let's get into no, I do want to apologize to y'all that we have not been able to make videos for a while. Like I said in the UFC video, we've been very busy.
Life happens.
Yeah. But now that I've gotten it out there, thank y'all for continuing to rock with us. Thank the new people who are hitting that subscribe button right now, because you are about to get some great information and a straight down the middle call for this fight. So let's go and get into it. Rob, take it away.
At the risk of YouTube flagging our videos, I'm going to say it anyway. There's been a lot of shit talking leading up to this fight between El Shakal and High Tech to make this fight. They've been at this since both of them was at like what, 122 and what, 118 or something like that.
Yeah, they've always been like a division or so apart, and Lomachenko just kept moving up to find people to fight. And Rigondeaux was like, hey, I'm right here. Hey, I'm right here.
And he's been wanting to fight the best people, and ever since that No Nito Donaire fight, it's kind of like, not sure if we want to fight this guy. He might be pretty good, and he's actually very good.
Right. Like I said, he was the first guy that had come out as like a 2-time gold medalist who had a lot of fanfare behind him. And unfortunately, his activity didn't match up because he's only had 17 fights in like 10 years as a pro. Whereas Lomachenko this is his 10th pro fight, I think. Because a lot of people try to count that World Series of Boxing as well, and some people don't. So his number of pro fights varies. Like they say, a World Series of Boxing is amateur, even though they get paid, which would technically make them professional. Whatever. I think he is he 7-1 now?
Who? Lomachenko?
Yeah.
No, I think he's 9-1 now.
9-1, that's what I was thinking. Okay. With 7 knockouts.
Right.
There we go. So he's been a lot more active since he turned pro like 3 or 4 years ago over Rigondeaux, who he started out pretty active, but as people started to realize that this guy is really good, and unfortunately he didn't have the same backing to where you would make a lot of money fighting him, people didn't fight him.
Well, he was top rank, and he apparently made boring fights. What actually happened is he was beating people so soundly, or they would just be, he wouldn't take a lot of damage, and he has been knocked down. He has had a split decision, but what would happen is he would adjust. He wouldn't let you get in his space unless he wanted you in his space. And then when you got in his space, he might break your jaw.
Yeah. So the risk reward start really getting out of whack. So people were like, you know what? I'm going to chill on this guy. And so did the promoters. They were like, you know what? We're going to chill on this guy.
Which is weird because Lomachenko is under top rank, if I'm not mistaken. And to make this fight, Rigondeaux went to Rock Nation and apparently is going to fight someone with top rank. So it makes no absolute sense whatsoever. But this fight got made over Twitter apparently.
However it got made, I'm glad it did.
And it should tell you,
these guys are damn good.
it shouldn't be that hard to make fights if these guys talk so much shit on Twitter. It's like, fuck it, I'll fight you at 130 pounds. Ain't no way, because you want to move up to 130 pounds. So ain't no way, we'll fight at 130 pounds. And it's kind of like, well, shit, he said he'd fight us at 130 pounds. You gotta fight him now.
Yeah, you don't have anybody, I don't have anybody, we've been talking crap, time to settle it. So let's talk about the skills, because it's a whole lot of them. A whole lot of them. Like I said, Lomachenko, also a dual gold medalist. Outstanding amateur record. Him, Rigondeaux and Lomachenko, probably like 3 of the best amateur records ever. Mm-hmm. And 2 of them are going to be in the ring facing off each other come Saturday. So we got 2 southpaws. Best believe they can both fight orthodox if they needed to. You haven't really seen them have the need to, but both of them, believe me, they got it in their toolbox. But they both have impeccable footwork, outstanding timing, underrated power, and they do have a sort of clash of styles. Lomachenko is a little bit more high energy, hence the high tech. Mm-hmm. He throws a little bit more. He moves a little bit more. Whereas Rigondeaux is a very deliberate person. He knows where he wants to be. He knows when he wants to punch. And when he does, he knows it's going to land. So he's very, very accurate on top of being, like I said, underrated with his punching power. Like Rob said, he has broken jaws. He has stopped several people.
And that's not only because of his power, it's a lot because of his placement, when and where he wants to put the shot. You put the shot on the right place, you're going to break someone's jaw.
Right. And I don't know how he continues to do this, but people fall for it all the time. He does like full punch feints. Like he'll tell you, he's sitting here, he's like, all right, so I can't reach you like this, I can't reach you like that. But if you come into this space, just know this is here, that's here. I don't know which one you're gonna walk into, but you can walk into one of these, because bam! And like as soon as you decide to move forward on him, if this is out, this is coming. And if this is out, this is coming. Or he might uppercut. Either way, you're running into a punch. And then he's gonna get out the way, pivot, and reset. And set another trap for you. And people have been running into it for 18 fights.
And he really does throw you off with the off speed, because they may think he's throwing it, at a decent speed, maybe not full speed, but not to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep showing you this right hand, keep showing this right hand. No, I'm sorry, the left hand, I'm gonna keep showing this left hand, just keep showing this left hand. I showed you the right hook. Now it's your choice. I'm gonna show you this, and you can come in think you're going to time it, and you're gonna get caught with something.
Right. Now Lomachenko, on the other hand, he likes to throw off-speed punches as well in combination. So whereas Rigondeaux's kind of sitting back setting the trap, Lomachenko's right here like, I'm just gonna hit you with these, pow! Here's a nice little hard one over top. You don't know which one you're gonna have to block. So you're sitting there, what's coming? Oh, he hit me with a hard punch. And then he'll step around and immediately start it over again. So, like I said, he has a much higher work rate than Rigondeaux has. So, to the untrained eye, you would probably say that he would be the more technically sound fighter, because you just see him doing things more often. Whereas with Rigondeaux, he really can trap you kind of like a spider. Like he's spinning the web. He's spinning the web. You don't even see that web there. Mm-hmm. And the spider knows when you hit it. You might not know until it's too late. But he do the whole time. He's like, shoot some web over here, get it over here. As soon as you touch one of my lines, I'm gonna pop you. And Lomachenko is more of a hunter type of boxer. He's gonna go forward. He's gonna confuse you. He's gonna give you the off-speed punches. But these guys are both highly intelligent as well, because it takes a lot of mental sharpness to pull these moves off, and physical prowess. Because like I said, while Rigondeaux doesn't move as much as Lomachenko, he's very deliberate. So he knows when he pivots where you're gonna be. He's like, if I pivot this way, you're going here. If I throw this punch, you're doing this. And that's how he sets people up. So you're gonna have a matchup here of two guys trying to set each other up in different ways, which plays into both guys' hands. Before I go into the next thing, what you got?
At this point, I mean, you pretty much covered it. I think what a lot of people, because of the movement of Lomachenko, they look at it from an athleticism standpoint, that because he's got the quick feet, he's very active. I look at it sometimes he overmoves. Yeah. He does overmove. He makes almost kind of, he can, because no one's been able to take advantage of it or stop him. He can make unnecessary movements. He can keep moving. But Rigondeaux is very athletic. He can get in and out. He can move with you as quick, if not quicker than you can in the ring.
Right.
So before, again, just like the skills, because Lomachenko is doing a lot more, doesn't mean that Rigondeaux can't do it.
Right, or he's less effective.
Right. So in this, what I would like to see him do, and I think there's a mentality thing. I think Rigondeaux is more, he's a little bit rough around the edges. I'm not talking about skill-wise. I'm talking about he's got a little bit more grit in him. Okay. Kind of like how you seen Lomachenko in that fight with Salido. He's a little bit rougher than he is. Rigondeaux, for as much as the skill, he can get rough with guys. Look at the last fight where it's just kind of like it kind of turned into a dirty fight. And some of the other fights where he would just do things, use the shoulder, use the elbows, push back, that kind of thing. And I think he's going to be more willing to do that in this fight than Lomachenko will be. Remember, we haven't seen that in the Lomachenko fight since in a fight with Lomachenko's opponent since the Salido fight. They kind of worked their way into what he had planned, but they never try to rough him up or do those little things that might be considered dirty.
Right. And I think that, like you said, could be a very big key for Rigondeaux. And I saw him actually working on this in a video. I was watching him, work the pads with a very accomplished coach in Pedro Diaz, who is a very smart man in his own right. But you could see them working on not only cutting off those angles that Lomachenko likes to cut, but being physical in doing so. Whereas since, they're both southpaws, I'm Rigondeaux and I'm sitting here and I'm doing my thing trying to get him, and Lomachenko tries to step around, boom, he cuts him off with that shoulder bump. So not only is that angle now completely gone, those punching opportunities that Lomachenko would have someone who thinks a little bit slower, who is a little bit slower on their feet and slower to react. Rigondeaux's already hot to what you're doing, and he's stopping you from doing it. So now they have to reset, and it's like, oh, you're going to stay right in front of me. And if he misses, he's just going to pivot out, and now they're back right in front of each other.
And kind of look for that when he bumps him. Look for him to take him just a little bit off balance. We're not talking about we're going to give an NFL shoulder block, just kind of just a little bit off that center, because one thing, Lomachenko does have great balance, so he's always on the center to turn and always in punching position. But if it's just a little here, he, like you said, he can't punch. Not only the angle's away, but his leverage is away, and look for that right hook for Rigondeaux to throw.
Yeah, so while he's bumping Lomachenko off of his center, he's still on his. So he can either go with the overhand or he can go with the right hook, depending on which way he bumps him. So that is going to be really good. It's also the best jabber that Lomachenko has fought thus far. So that's something to look out for. Rigondeaux has an excellent jab. When he's putting it out there, then he can fire it really fast and like change up the speed. And he always moves afterwards. Now he can be caught, like Rob said. He has been dropped several times in his career. The biggest fight of his career against Nonito Donaire, he was dropped in the 11th round. But he got up, kept going, and he immediately corrected the mistake that caused the knockdown. So against the hardest puncher that he had faced and the biggest fighter he had faced, he was able to overcome adversity after being fairly in control for most of the fight. So that's more intrigue coming into this fight. Now, for one-shot power, I don't think Lomachenko has that over Rigondeaux. But like I said, he can throw enough punches to where he can bank rounds when Rigondeaux is looking for opportunities. So if Lomachenko instead employs a back and forth instead of a step around, he may be able to pile up points because Rigondeaux is looking for those counters and he's looking for that movement to stop, and it's not coming in the direction he planned it to come. So Lomachenko throws a volley, doesn't even have to land. He maybe only has to land one punch because Rigondeaux is only going to come back with either one or two. And then he steps back out. So they reset. He's piled up some points. Rigondeaux's on the back foot on the defensive, and he can not cruise, but he can win a fairly wide decision that way. Trust and believe that this fight is going to be difficult for both men. Even if one of the other guy knocks them out early or late, it's still going to be very tough mentally because they know one mistake can make the difference between winning and losing in this fight.
And going to that, I looked at their resumes. We both know both two-time gold medalists, but Lomachenko has fought, to me, a higher degree of consistent competition.
Right.
Than Rigondeaux. Lomachenko's here demanding to fight the best fighters usually, and he's usually getting them. So it's been pretty steady while Rigondeaux's been struggling to get fights. So he's not really getting. He's basically getting whoever steps in with him. Right, because one, of course you're boxing, you got to get paid, but also you got to fight someone. You don't want to be too inactive at that time. So it's kind of like he hasn't been able to keep busy and get the same level of competition, but it's all been the same. He's still undefeated. Right. While Lomachenko has fought guys that are bigger than him. I mean, physically, guys who, of course, champions, ex-champions, Olympians, however you want to say it.
Well, Rigondeaux has also, but like you said, the time span in between those
it's been
are
really
a lot
inconsistent.
longer than Lomachenko's, which is why they have, like, Rigondeaux only has had maybe like 8 or 9 more fights. I'm not doing the exact math, but I think he's had 18 fights. Lomachenko's had 10.
Yeah.
So 8 more fights.
Realistically, Rigondeaux should be over 20, but unfortunately, unable to make the fights.
Right. And that may hinder him, but I think he's good enough to where it's not. That and Lomachenko is a naturally bigger guy. Remember, Rigondeaux was making 122 easy. I don't know if Lomachenko was having trouble making that weight or if he just wanted to move up because he just wanted to find some competition. But he has been campaigning at a higher weight class almost the entire time that he's been a pro. So he is a bigger guy. So while Rigondeaux is going to try to be physical with him, it may not work. Lomachenko may be like, hey, you want to get physical? I can do that too. And begin to push him back. Then we got something real interesting on our hands. See, we got some high level thinking that's going to be going on in this ring on Saturday. Some super high level. So hopefully the commentators themselves, because the last ESPN broadcast left a lot to be desired broadcast-wise. I don't know what was going on with those guys.
Hopefully it's Tim Bradley in there, someone who knows what they're looking at.
Maybe Andre Ward.
Yeah.
Teddy Atlas, for all of his hyperbole, does know what he's looking at. Sometimes he does get a little carried away with.
Basically what we're saying, we don't want Stephen A. Smith in there.
Definitely not. And who was it, Kriegel or whatever? I don't like that guy. Was
him too.
He was a complete waste of airspace. Yeah, get a articulate and knowledgeable fighter in there to partner up with Teddy, or even find Brian Kenny. Where is Brian Kenny? Somebody get Brian Kenny in there.
Oh yeah.
Somebody that's, can let people see what's going on and tell them to appreciate it as well. Because unfortunately, like if this fight was on HBO, like you'd get like one guy trying to tell you how good these guys are, and the other, oh, this is boring. Like, shut up. Like, why have you been watching boxing so long and don't know what you're looking at?
Going off handle.
Yeah. So, as far as a pick, who are you taking to win?
I don't know.
Now, for the longest time, I was going with Lomachenko. I was like, he's just much bigger, he's more active, and he's got an incredible skill set. But then I started to remember how good Rigondeaux is. And I started looking at, both of them train, and I was looking at, both of their fights, and I'm like, man, this is going to be really tight. Really tight. But I'm still going to go with Lomachenko off that activity. Unless Rigondeaux can hit him with some real good stuff to where he either handcuffs his activity or drops him and maybe stops him. I think the activity of Lomachenko is just going to be too much. And not in a sense of he's running away with rounds, but he's doing just enough for the judges to be like, you know what, I think I'm going to give it to that guy.
Yeah, this fight is going to be more about the look than the actual damage that's happening in the fight.
Yeah.
Unless Rigondeaux just hit him with some shots that just sound great. Even though
he does that. Or that size that Lomachenko has wears Rigondeaux down on top of the work rate, and he can catch him with something. That would be something too. This one has a lot of variables going in there, and you don't know how this guy's going to exploit what the other guy's doing to come out victorious. But I am going to go with Lomachenko. I think that he's going to be able to pull it off with the volume that he's going to throw. Even if he's not landing, the opportunities for Rigondeaux to counter are going to be a little bit less than they were. Like I said, both guys have not fought the level that they're going to be fighting on Saturday. You just can't find that level of competition. You can't find a two-time gold medalist who is excellent in all areas for either guy. So both guys are going in against the best guy that they've ever fought. And that's what makes this so intriguing. So let us know what you think. Hit us up in the comment section who you think is going to win, how you think they're going to win, what skills do you think is going to match up, and we'll wrap with you. Hit us up on our social media platforms. All those links are down below. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, you can hit that little belt down there, or you can hit the subscribe button under the video. Either way, you can subscribe, and then you can follow us on the recap and all the other videos that we got coming for y'all. So thank you for watching, and until the recap, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.